All right, it looks like we're live. I'm going to give my computer a moment to catch up. Sorry, I'm just a minute late. I got caught up in prep work and everything, and the time just flew by this morning. So, good. There we go. All right. Always love when it actually works and goes live and I can see it too. Then I know I've got everything working as it should. Well, good morning, everybody. For me, it's morning, afternoon for some people. I see lots of people joining us already on here. Goodness, I think I've missed half an hour of chat, it looks like. Maybe not quite that bad, but everyone is having a great day. I am excited. You'll have to excuse my cough a little bit today. It's getting better, but still just hanging in there. That's the worst part from this cold. I've got my tea, I've got my water, so I'll keep sipping on that as we go along. If you have seen our January release, it went live yesterday. We had the blog hop. Today is the Instagram hop. I'm going to be using some items from the release for today. But if you haven't checked out the blog hop and the Instagram hop, do make sure and do that there. First of all, there's tons of beautiful inspiration. We have all of our design team and some fabulous guests. There's also lots of chances to win this entire release, and it's a good one. So on our blog, you can leave a comment on our blog, and that's one chance to win the entire release. There's a YouTube video that Leah made, and there's also a chance to win the entire release there. And then on the Instagram hop today, the post on the Pinkfresh Instagram page, there's a chance. So check out all of those. And then all the other blog hop and Instagram, we're going to pick $25 gift card winners all across those. So hop along and leave some love on all of those posts as well. It's a great, Roxanne, make a cup of tea or coffee or whatever your favorite drink is and settle in. And once again, excuse me. All right. Real quick, as we get ready to get started, I'm running a minute or two late, so I don't want to lose too much time. So I'm going to dig right in. I am pretty sure I've linked everything I'm using today in the video description. So check all that out. I think the only thing I didn't link is I'm going to be using a whole bunch of ink cubes. I didn't link those, but you can, I'll add those a little bit later. It was kind of I was going to use colored cardstock and I decided to use inks instead. So anything that you have questions about there, I'll try and leave everything out so you can see, but just as a reference, I wanted to let you know that. I will keep an eye on comments while I'm crafting. I often don't do as well once I get busy and focused on what I'm doing. Okay. Hot foam machine. I'm going to cycle it on and off just so it doesn't shut off on me. But Leah is in the comments behind the Pinkfresh Studio name. So anything that I miss comment-wise or questions, she does a great job of catching. Every once in a while, something slides by that we both miss. Promise we're not ignoring you. Sometimes it's just hard to keep up. So feel free to ask again. And then we also, very important, we give away a $15 gift card for every one of these lives. And the way you enter that is just what everyone's doing already. Have lots of fun in the chat. Leave questions, leave comments, chat with each other. If you see a question and you know the answer to it, do all that. Leah will pick a $15 gift card from the comments at the end. One other way that you can enter that is by hitting, I never quite know, let's see, somewhere over here, if you're on a computer, there's a share button. I'm probably pointing at the wrong spot, but if you click that little share button and share it with a friend in a message, a private message, an email, you can text it to them. If there's a group that you're part of that you know it's allowed, you can share it in there. Just make sure that's okay with the group rules. Some groups have rules about that. And then pop back over here and leave us another comment letting us know that you shared, and that will count as another entry. And then finally, it doesn't count as an entry, but we really love if you are enjoying the video, if you hit that thumbs up button. That just helps our reach, helps more people find this, and then we can have a bigger party when we do these lives. So we always love that. And with that, I think that covered everything. Oh, and if you're new, please also leave us a little comment letting us know you're new. I'm going to say a hello to anyone who's new really quick now, because I know I'll likely miss those as they go by. Jennifer, it is Tuesday. At the new year here, we switched. So we're keeping the same time. All of our lives are going to be Tuesday and Thursday at the same time. Last week was an odd exception. Because it was our sneak peek live and we didn't want to skip it, but we had an outside a retailer event that conflicted. So it was either cancel or push it later. So every now and then it might get pushed later, but most of the time we're sticking just with that noon Central Time. So it'll make it a little easier to remember. I know a lot of people got confused over what day of the week is it and which live is this. So card lives are going to be on Tuesdays, scrapbooks on Thursday, all on YouTube and all at noon Central Time, which for me is 10 a.m. So that's why I always say good morning on these ones and then realize it's not morning for everybody. So morning or afternoon. All right, I'm going to switch my camera around and we'll see if we can get started here. All right, my hot foil machine's already hot and ready, so I don't want to take too long here, but we are going to use, mainly we're going to focus on this beautiful outline floral frame. I've got some great tricks. It's a really intricate die. So it can be a little tricky to cut, but I've got a really fabulous, fun trick that I'm super excited to show you that just makes it cut like a dream for me. Absolutely perfect. So we're going to use this, and I'm also going to modify it slightly to make a slimline card design. You know, we cut our stamped and stenciled images, so I'm going to do that on this die cut as well. And then I already have some stuff pre-done with these, and that I'm going to set aside. And we're going to go ahead and focus on a quick little bit of hot foiling for our sentiment. This is the new Wonderful Sentiments. Also, I just realized I didn't have this open on my phone yet. Let me get that open and then I can see the comments a little bit better than just on my computer because it's kind of off to the side. So, all right, there we go. Now I can see a little bit better. All right. So this Wonderful Sentiments, it has a stamp, a die, and a hot foil. And even though we've done a lot of one piece sets, and I absolutely love them, I'm a little bit spoiled, but we do know some people prefer the other way. And sometimes it is nice to have the options that come with things separately. And yes, Leah, I absolutely love the font on this. I think that's why part of me wishes it was a one piece, because I would just run it through and do all the sentiments all the time. But the great thing is you can pick and choose. If you're stamping or hot foiling, you can do it directly on your panel or wherever you want. I'm going to do Good Things Will Find You. That's the sentiment I want to do. So I'm going to pop that on my machine there. I'm going to get that heating up there. And then I'm going to get my foil ready. I'm realizing I don't need to keep this way. I don't need the stamp set right now. And I'm going to use silver foil today. If you look at the video description, I have Moon Dust, I think is the name of it. It's kind of a really pretty shimmery blue. And then silver, because I couldn't make up my mind which one I wanted to use for swirl problems, right? So I put them both in there until I made up my mind, but I think I'm going to do some rainbow colors on my card. So I decided sticking with silver would probably be the best option. So let me grab, and I only need, turn this down. I need a half panel of cardstock because I don't need to be too ridiculous on this. And I'm going to actually save half of this foil for another design another day. But one other thing I'm going to do once we get this foiled, actually, now that it's ready, I'm just going to focus on doing that. And then I'll tell you what I'm going to also do once this is done and my solid foil plate is heating. All right, pop it off of my machine, add the foil. I do that whole. Okay, good. And I think I muddled that. I suddenly couldn't remember if I did my foil the right way. So good thing I had extra foil. I didn't want to foil my foil plate there. I just had one of those moments. I was like, what did I do? So we're just going to fix that now. Pop that back on there. Let's make sure that foiled. I still got a little bit of overfoiling. So let's, you know what, let's just redo that. I think I just muddled everything around so much while I was trying to decide what I wanted to do. And I know I want to do the reverse foil. So we're just going to take a moment and fix that as we can. Also going to turn this. I found sometimes if one doesn't foil great, if I turn it a different direction, I have better results. Teresa, a lot of people actually do put them down the same time. But I actually don't put the foil down until right when I'm ready to foil. So, and the only ones I've had trouble with them curling up like that is the satin ones. Some of those have started, they didn't right away, but I noticed some of them started doing that on me a little bit later, which is kind of interesting. So, all right, turn that timer on. And this is a good opportunity for me to take a sip of my tea and keep my cough out of your ears. Okay, as soon as that's ready, I'll grab my extra little scrap there. And then we'll run this through. And then, while we're waiting for this to heat up anyway, I want to pair this up with the die cut that keeps smiling that comes in this set. And I could just cut it from silver foil, like foiled cardstock that I already have, but I want to make sure I have a perfectly matched sentiment. So I'm going to use the solid foil plate to also help me create a little bit of just a foil panel. And that's going to allow me to have a perfect tone to absolutely coordinate with my foiled sentiment too. Okay, let's see if I can get this better without it moving. Better, I hope. Oh, good. And it peeled right off as I came up and it's perfect. So sometimes you might not get perfect results the same time or first time, but it's totally worth trying again. All right. Time for that solid hot foil plate and we'll get that on there. I know my desk space is limited, so I really you can't see all of this, but I promise it's on there, it's heating. We'll get this ready to go, and then we'll also get a piece of silver foil that's big enough to die cut our other sentiment too. I'm going to kind of do a twofer on this. Don't need it absolutely huge, but trim that off just a little bit as well. I know Leah uses her little paper trimmer and has a really great look. Right, and like Leah said, it's just paper. I know nobody gets perfect results all the time. So I've had to just kind of keep that in mind. I'm going to turn this down a little. I just don't want to waste any more cardstock than I have to. All right, that'll work there. So I'm just going to add a little tiny pinch of tape on here because hopefully you can kind of see that there. Normally I wouldn't worry about taping this down, but because I'm doing two pieces on the one panel, I want to make sure that nothing moves. Okay. And my foil plate seems to do pretty well just with one heating cycle. One other thing too that I know Leah and I talk about this all the time, these hot foil rolls. I know everyone is always worried about wasting their foil and everything, but when you look at, I mean, they're 5 inches wide to begin with. They are 15 feet in that roll. So this is a 4-pack, but if you just get a single pack, I think they run around $6 for 15 feet. Do you know how much foil that is? Do you know how many panels you can foil? Because in 1 foot, you can easily do like 3 foil panels, at least, I think, if I'm doing my math right. 5 by 12. Anyway, 2 or 3 per foot. And if you have 15 feet, that's like at least 30 to 45. Don't make me do math. It's still early in the morning, but there's a lot of foil. That's what I'm saying. And it lasts really, really well. So never worry too much about running out of foil. All right, the light has turned on. I think this is hot enough. We're just gonna kind of go for it and assume the best. So I'm gonna pop that on there. I've added a little paper shim between my 2 shims there. And then let's run this through. Pretty sure that I can already tell that looks pretty good. So I'm just gonna go ahead and turn my machine off and assume the best and get this out of the way, because I don't have enough desk space to keep all of this on here for forever. Okay, and then let's go ahead, patch an edge. So there's my little sheet that I foiled, and that's going to be perfect for the die cutting. I can see, it's hard to see on camera, but there's no foil left here. It foiled great. And then there we go, get that other little piece off of there. And that looks great as well. Like I said, it's hard because I feel like on the video, it almost looks like some of it didn't foil. And the only spot that really didn't is down there, but that's way out of the way. And it was probably because of all my tape and adhesive. So, but we're perfect. Like Leah said, I know, I almost feel like I have to throw a party. I think the only ones I could be wrong. I think the only one I've ever gotten all the way to the end on is Aura. And I'm at least on my 2nd roll of that, maybe 3rd. And I do a lot of foiling. So it's definitely not something you have to worry too much about. That. All right, real quick, I'm going to just die cut. There we go. Is it that one? Yeah. We're going to die cut these real quick, just so we can get this out of the way. And then we'll move on to our other die cutting with our more intricate die design. Okay, we'll tape that in place. I'll be right back. I'm going to die cut this off camera. Okay. And then we'll die cut this one. I think I'm going to use the original, but you never know. You never know. Always like to be prepared. And then let's go ahead and grab our sentiment die from here and get that die cut as well from, and I'm seeing I actually have, oh yeah, plenty there. We could die cut this 2 times if you wanted to. So I'll just use what I need and then save the rest. All right, one more time, be right back. All right, now we have both options with our sentiments. The normal foiled, where you got the silver on the words, and then the reverse foiled. I see some discussion about maybe someone who is new to the solid foil plate. So you're getting a good demo today of all of the options that it has. All right, and hold on here. Yep, we did. Need those 2 little dots for the eyes on there. Let's go ahead so I don't lose all the pieces. I pre-die cut this 2 times from white, and I already stacked and glued them together. It's part of why I was late today. Where did it, oh, there's the other word. Silly me. This out of the way. Let's just get this word assembled, and that way we're all ready. I'll clean that up a little bit later, so don't have to worry about it right now. No, you know what? I'm not going to be able to handle it. I have to get those little chads out of there now. Then I can put it away clean. Hate putting things away dirty. All right, and then we're going to use, where did I put it? I'm just going to use a glue pen to adhere these together. And this is actually just a little bit of Post-it tape. I stuck it on because I was so afraid of you losing those little dots on the eyes, but it kind of works really well just to hold things in place as well. So a great little tip if you need a way to kind of hold things together. Okay. And I love that this means now my die cut larger sentiment is going to perfectly coordinate with the hot foiled version, whichever one we decide to use, which is really fun. Okay. A little bit of glue. I always put the glue on when I'm stacking up. I put the glue on the bottom layer and then set the other one on top. I find it easier than trying to put it on the back and turn it over. So. Okay. And then we'll do the same here with those. Good bit of adhesive there on the dots of the eyes. And then I'm going to use, this is coming out soon, I'm going to use the little embellishment wand. The little sticky, it works great for bling, but it also is fabulous replacing little tiny bits like that can be really fiddly. All right, now that that's all glued together, I'm throwing things like crazy. All right, now I can set this aside. We'll just let those dry and those will be all ready to go when we want to build our sentiment. And we'll put this other way. I also have it die cut in vellum for a shadow layer. So, okay, well, that's done. So now let's move on to this really big, beautiful, and intricate frame die. This is the outlined floral frame. And like I mentioned, it's a really detailed, it can be kind of a finicky, you can use a metal shim to cut it. But here's my absolute current favorite trick for die cutting this. And it's something I saw, I wish I had saved. It was just something on passing, and before I could save it, you know how Instagram like refreshes the page and it goes away before you get the details? I hate that. But I saw this great quick little reel and I only saw part of it. And it said something about using a bubble mailer to do it. So I did a little bit of experimentation and I absolutely love the results. So, oh, that's fun. Let me just flash my mailing address for everybody. So I've done it with just like a manila bubble envelope, bubble mailer. And I've also done it, I mean, if anyone else gets lots of Amazon Prime packages, I found both of them work equally well. I'm going to use the Amazon Prime one just because I feel like there's a good chance everybody has that. But the sandwich you want to do, and we have this in a tip and trick, kind of like basic card making video on YouTube as well. But I wanted to show it because this is a perfect example of a die. So you put the bubble wrap down on your bottom plate, whatever. I've used this in my spellbinders, my Big Shot, and I'm using my Gemini today. Put that down, and then you're going to put the paper and then the die down. I'm just centering the die because my cardstock's just the right size for it. Then put your top plate on there, and let me run it through the machine and show you how well it works. Some of them make more of that really satisfying popping the bubble sound. The Amazon one isn't as loud, which is okay, but it still works really well. All right, so let me show you. First off, sometimes the manila ones do a little better job of grabbing all the chads and pulling them out for you. But no matter how you do it, this does a really amazing job. I'm going to use this to kind of poke out the start of it here. But look at how perfectly it cut that intricate die. I mean, there's a few tiny pieces stuck in there that I'll pop out, but overall, it's perfectly clean. There's no spots that didn't cut. It's no strain on, I feel like it's less strain on my machine than using the metal shim. Move everything out of the way there so you can kind of see. This is like my hands down. Any bubble mailer I get now, I grab it, I cut it into A2-ish size squares and pop it in my drawer. And then I always have them handy. And anytime I grab out a die that's at all intricate, it's just, I immediately pull that out and do that. All right. Again, like I said, if you use a manila envelope, I feel like it catches and pulls a lot more of these out. But if you don't have one and you don't do that, this right here is a great tool for getting those extra little pieces out. It Spellbinder sells it, and it does just a great job of grabbing those little. I'm not going to necessarily spend the time doing it all, but you can already see how I got most of them out of this side in just a few seconds. You know what, Pauline, I have not tried to reuse it, to be honest, because I feel like it's deflated enough that I don't have any need to. I should test it and see. I would just say, I guess you could just kind of test and try and see. But I have enough bubble mailers. I get enough packages, and if I just save them, I figure I'm probably never going to run out of enough pieces to do that. Again, it might depend, and you don't have to use it like if you're cutting a rectangle die. I mean, if you have trouble cutting it, you absolutely could do that. But I really only use these on the really detailed, intricate kind of dies like this. There we go. And that was all that was stuck in there for me to pop out. That's true. And I know Leah has said that. I just didn't want to do that live because I know it's uber loud to like bang it on the glass mat. And so I didn't want to deafen your ears. All right, let's pull out the rest of our card design here. So I've already made a white card base. I've used the slim stitched rectangles to cut the largest out of cream cardstock because there's something I love about white and cream. It's just such a soft, neutral bit of contrast. And then I'm making a slimline design and I'm changing it a little bit, but a little bit of my card design was, well, a little bit, it was, the initial inspiration was totally from Laura Basson's card. If you saw that for the blog hop yesterday, and she used this die on an A2 and she did colored stripes behind it. So I'm going to kind of incorporate that. I'm going to do more rainbow colors on there, and I'm going to turn it into a slimline design here. So here is where the scary part comes in again. And I want to cut. So as you can kind of see here, I want my width to go right about to here. And this can go all the way up, and I'm going to do the exact same thing down here so it cuts. So where I want it to cut, I'm just going to go for now right between the circles there, because that's where I want my main cut to go. And you can kind of play with this and come up with other ideas. Now, to make this work, on these, all I need to do is just trim and round off those flower petals a little bit. Not too scary. And then on this down here, the way I'm going to make it work is just entirely on those flowers, just cut off those circles. So it'll just make a straight edge there, if that makes sense. So then I have a perfect design to work on a slimline. So same thing here. Let's just cut those circles off. If you really wanted to keep the circles on there, I kind of played with a few different ways to do this. But another way you could do it would just be to entirely remove this, this flower, and then you could round off and keep all of the little details there. But I don't think it's noticeable taking them off of there. And I think that works really well. Jane, so slimline card sizes, there's a lot of variation on those. You can kind of make them any size you want. My particular here, my card base is 4x9, which with our slimline dies provides a perfect like a frame border so you can see the card base behind it. And there we go. Leah's going to give the specifics. So yeah, on mine, I'm doing this, but also with these nested dies, if you want to make a smaller size slimline, there's a smaller nested die there. So you can make, I don't remember what the specifications are, but you can kind of fit it to whatever size. And we also have mini slimline products as well. And I absolutely love those. Okay, so I'm going to actually do this as a horizontal card design because I'm gonna figure out where I'm going to fit it here. I'm going to fit my, just use the vellum layer for now. That Keep Smiling is going to fit there. And then Good Things Will Find You is going to fit there, one or the other of the versions. I don't know what yet. So I want my striping to kind of go, I think I'll go diagonal this way so it goes behind the florals a little bit more. Let's put this out of the way. And pull this over. I already pre-die cut a whole bunch of the 2 smallest sizes of these just from white cardstock. Like I said, I was debating on using colored cardstock when I began. But then I decided I've got all these lovely ink cubes, so I might as well just do that. So let me test here real quick and see if oh, perfect. I just want to make sure I can kind of fit it sort of diagonally here will be where we build from. And I'm going to kind of mix and match inks and colors and stuff. And I'm going to do, I think I saw this, Shannon did it one time, and she just directly applied the ink right onto them. So I'm going to kind of copy that idea. And I'm going to do, we're just going to rub it right on. Get lots of color on there. We need to go all the way to the end. So this might be the day I get inky fingers, but you know what? I'm okay with that. All right. So we're going with Sparkling Rose there. And then I think I'll do, I'm not sure if I'll use both of them, but I'm going to do, oh, that's going to be really rich and dark, isn't it? Did I do the right? Yeah. I'll make sure I'm on the right side of that there. So I can already see, I think I'm going to back off a little bit on that because I don't know if I like how dark that is. So that's why I cut extra strips. So I think I'm going to do this in the softest shade. I think so I can see already that these are going to go deeper than I expected, which is fine. So I did Sparkling Rose for that one. This one's going to be Ballet Slipper. And as these dry, they are going to soften up a bit. So they're going to get a bit lighter. But now I can decide which size, which color do I want, and they'll have some variation and differences in color, and I can set them there to dry. All right, so we got some pink. I'm just going to move through rainbow order and pick which ones we want when we get to that spot. So I think I'm going to stick soft. We might not use every single one of these, but go for Coral Reef for the whiter one because it's my favorite. Never have too much Coral Reef. And you could do colored cardstock for this. I just thought it would be fun to customize the colors. And I'm not even worried about perfect coverage. If it's a little spotty, it's okay. And then let's do passion fruit for that little one. So one thing I love best about this little strip die is the little tiny strips like this. Like I could try and use my paper trimmer, but it's hard to get them perfectly straight. And this just makes perfect little strips. Okay. There we go. There's our passion fruit. Too bad, I'm not getting too inky yet. Okay, and this is just printer paper. So I got a few more pieces because I didn't want to risk burning my inks there. Okay, so that's the reds. Move on to the oranges. I might reverse those pinks. I do kind of like having the softer one in the bigger. So we'll see. We might redo those, or we might just skip the pink. I haven't fully decided yet. So we'll get one big strip and a little one. And for this, we'll do the big one in Peach Fuzz. That one out of the way. I'm actually noticing I get slightly better coverage on this when I go at a bit of a angle instead of straight across. I don't know why, but it seems to be helping. And then we'll do apricot for that little bitty one. I'm gonna try and conserve that cardstock a little bit and keep it a bit closer. Ooh, or even little circles. That works really good to get the ink into those. Popping it out of the die, I notice there's a little bit of a ridge there. So that helps kind of cover that up a little bit better. That one might have gotten a bit of ink on me. All right. Now we've got the oranges ready. And put the other way, move on to yellows. And Laura, as far as that question, what you just said about a mini slimline envelope that cuts, the reason we don't is I don't think there's cutting plates on most machines that are large enough for that. So it's a bit of a downer, but okay. And we'll start with lemon whip. Ooh, this one's nice and juicy. Makes that really easy. I'm always surprised by when you direct put the ink on here. So it is going to soften because it's dye ink and it's going to lighten up, but it never lightens quite. I mean, it lightens way more than I expected to, but these are going on darker to start than I kind of expected, much to my surprise. Huh. Little bits of, there we go. I think I had a little corner piece of my ink pad on this coming up. Now I have inky fingers. Knew it was going to happen. Okay, so there's that. That's actually not even. All right, yeah, I have totally inky fingers now. A little bit here. I'm gonna go a shade darker on this one. I don't think there's as much contrast as I want. And then, like I said, we might get to the end and I might go, I'm not even going to use both sizes, and then it won't matter, but we'll move up to sweet mustard for that one. And then that, yes, there we go. Just on the direct application here, it was a little more subtle than I wanted. Okay. So keep with our tradition here. We'll do fresh pear for the first strip here. Oops. And I don't know if you can see the first ones are starting to soften up a little bit, which is kind of what I was hoping for. Okay, and then what was the next one there? I should leave that open. Grassy Knoll is our next green. Definitely some good contrast here. This is so fun too. I feel like I mean, the little ink pads, it's almost, and you could do this with full size as well. Totally fine. But I feel like a little kid with crayons, which is super fun. All right, instead of just traditional blues, I'm gonna use some over here. There we go. I'm gonna deviate a little and I'm gonna use aquas for the blues just because I really like them. So Ocean Breeze will be our first one. I just think they're a pretty shade. It's kind of hard to go wrong with aquas. There we go. And then, so Ocean Breeze is the first one there. Sometimes I wish I had fingernails. You know what I mean? Just don't. My nails do not grow long without ripping and tearing. You know what, Deb? I actually haven't used them like this. I don't think ever. I know I've seen other people do it, but I don't think I've actually done it. So That's a good question. These are little strips, so I'm not too worried. If I was coloring like a big piece of cardstock or something, then I might be a little more worried about that. And then finally, we'll do some purples. And again, I don't know for sure we'll use every single color, but I want to have them all ready so we have the option. I'm almost kind of liking just this rainbow of colors here, but we'll see what fits on there. So, and if not, I'll save these for another card at another time or another project. Pink and purple are always lovely together. So, and I'm going to do candy violet here for that final thin one. And yes, that is true. The ink cubes in general do need, just because they're smaller and they don't have as much surface area to hold the ink versus, you know, how big of a stamp you may be inking up. Oh, we're just gonna be squeaking in for time today, let me tell you. All right. Whew, that was a lot of inks and a lot of inking, but I think we're ready. I'm gonna set all this aside and set that aside, and let's start kind of making a plan here. And if we start from kind of there-ish, I think I'm just going to do we'll just kind of start, because you don't have to do any particular rainbow order, so we can mix it up however we want. So let's go ahead and pull out our glue and just start sticking these down. And I'll just trim the extra off once we've got them all adhered in place here. So, and there we go. It's like my glue needs to come out. Once I get this first one down, so I'm not too worried about sliding it because I'm still going to be filling in. There we go. I want to make sure it goes enough to the edge that I have. There we go. I have enough to trim off now. So there we go. Now we can start building this up and decide how many colors we want to add. Oops, that kind of came off on me. I'm just going to add little lines of glue that I can slide my strips onto and push them into place. Because that way I can kind of snuggle them up so they touch like they should. All right, should we go back this way a little? Let's do our little bitty orange. This is where I'm going to be quiet now too while I think and focus on getting all of these stuck in place. And for slightly wider ones, so a little more glue. And I can already see the colors kind of softening up on here because the ink is sinking into the paper and starting to dye the paper. So it's kind of a nice reminder that as dark as they look, they are gonna soften out and kind of fit a little more what maybe you expect, which is a nice perk. All right, we're gonna pivot back down to this side, build on the greens, and decide how far we want this to go. That in. And then we'll decide if I'm gonna just go a couple more layers and then I'm gonna set our die cut florals over the top and decide. I literally don't think I've ever done a card like this. And I've seen Laura B do it so many times. And it always comes out so amazing. But when I was trying to decide what to do with this die, I saw that and I just thought, okay, yep, that's going to be my first inspiration. To adjust that just slightly. Here we. That's why I love that liquid glue, that it gives me just a hair of time to be able to pull and adjust that. Let's cut it a little too close over on this side on that corner, and I didn't have enough to gap over the edge. There we go. Now we can finish this. That little tiny deep aqua one there. Then I think let's decide if we want any more up here. Do we want, that almost does feel like that pink. And then we could almost do the purple on the bottom. Do we want to end on the big or end on, nope, you know what? Let's see how it looks now. I almost think I might just want to call it quits where we're at there. Yeah, I'm kind of liking that. Okay, we're going to turn this over and trim that extra off, and we're going to just stop at that spot. As tempting as it is to keep going. So now I've got some spare pieces. I actually didn't use the coral reef on here, you guys. Are you shocked? I was trying to find a way to get it on there, but when all was said and done, it just looked good the way it was. So you know that coral reef will be put to good use somewhere else. So again, this would be a great way to use up cardstock scraps and everything too. So just because I use the inks on there doesn't mean that's the only choice. Do you like the red at the top? Okay. Then we need, and I actually like the idea of this going a little bit off the edge as well. Yeah. All right, let me take a sip of my tea here, and then I'll start getting adhesive on these and finishing assembling. I'm just trying to keep that little bit of a tickle at bay there so it doesn't drive me bonkers. Okay, I'm going to use a glue pen. There's my glue pen. We're going to use that to really just coat the back of this with adhesive. Being really careful to hold it in place so that I don't get adhesive anywhere on the front of it. That one first. I'm going to weight that down with a couple of clear stamp blocks. And do the same with this one here. I could do little tiny dots with my Bearly Arts glue as well. In fact, I sincerely considered that. And then I decided that I think the glue pen is going to give me the hold that I want here. A little bit better and a little bit easier. And notice one little tiny chat there that I missed. Get that out of there while I still can. Couple more clear stamp blocks there. Hold that all in place. I know, actually that's adhering pretty well. So we'll just swap those over to there, but I think those are placed good now. Right, I know. I was thinking that, Leah, I still have all those here, and with a Misty, I feel like I could get rid of those. But then the other part of me is like, nope, because those are totally useful for this, but yeah, I never use them for stamping anymore at all. All right, where did I put? There it is, my liquid glue. Let's get this adhered together. Now, guys, I'm going to start doing paper strips all the time. I can't believe I haven't done this much sooner. I think, like I said, a little bit of Laura Basson, a little bit of Shannon inspiration, kind of running the gambit here on this today. That's why it's so great having all of these videos and everything to watch, all the inspiration that even, I do these lives and I'm always trying to come up with new ideas, but sometimes it's just taking something that someone else did that is a great idea and adding your own little spin to it. I mean, not that rainbows are kind of a Laura Batson thing too, but this particular one wasn't in rainbow. But the rainbow could arguably be given to either her or to Leah for credit on that inspiration. Okay, and then tiny little dot on the smiling. Build up other eye. And this is where I'm going to use my lovely little detail tool again. Gotta get it off of there we go. That should pick up. I think I've got a little adhesive. There we go. Nope. I think what happened is it got a little adhesive on the back of it that wants to stay attached. All right. We might have to go for, where do I have them? These, there we go, little tiny tweezers. There we are. If this one will work. There we go. The fiddliest part of that whole thing. Now that is taken care of. And I bet that it's now adhered down. So we need to pop this up on some foam adhesive. Grab a panel. Oh, good. I still have a couple left of the pre-made foam panels that we like to use. All right, all that little fiddly stuff. I am sure that I just missed all kinds of comments. So if anyone asked a question that I needed to answer, ask again, because that took a lot of my focus. So, okay, make sure I've got my pop fold for my card base up that way. It's still reversible now, but once I get the sentiments on, we're going to be a bit committed. All right, here we go. We're coming together. Now we've just got to add on our sentiments. We've got that keep smiling. And I think with that, and now I'm not sure, now that we have this, you know what, this might just go, let me play here a little. I tested it and I liked it, but now that I've got everything together, I'm kind of like, maybe I don't love it. I think maybe if I had done the stripes going the other way, that would have worked better with this. But now that I have that, kind of unsure if I like both sentiments on there. I might just have to put this one on the inside because it doesn't feel like it fits as well anymore. Oh, but wait, let's try that. How about on a diagonal? That actually works pretty good. Maybe we'll do that. I didn't even think about turning it on a diagonal. And then do we like the, actually, I think I like the reverse foil better on this. Just gonna have to get the diagonal straight to make that work. I don't know, what do you think, guys? Should we just put that on the inside and keep this just simple on the front and add some bling? I almost don't know if I love the two fonts together. I think I'd rather just trade those out. So I think I'm going to put this on the inside. Then at least it's not going to waste. So that's good. All right, we'll just do that. I just felt like they didn't work together as much as I was hoping they would. So when all was said and done. I also don't know if I mentioned on this die, this beautiful die that we're using today, it was designed, if you are familiar at all with the scrapbooking world, you probably know the name Paige Evans. She's the one who designed this one. Yeah, everyone says, keep smiling. And then I think we're all voting for at an angle too. I was toying with unsure on how to do that, but I do agree. I like that at that angle on there. Okay. Getting close, need some bling now. So let's pull that out and see. Gotta pull out my bling options here. I really think I am gonna like this. I think I'm gonna do, this is gonna be a Leah inspiration. We're gonna grab some red, orange, yellow, blue. I think those are gonna be, and then we're gonna run a little rainbow row down the sides here. And then it looks like we might just run a minute or two over. I'll try not to keep you too long. But I feel like this is gonna be just the finishing touch that it needs. Do I want that green or do I want the darker green? Not quite sure. I'm gonna get both out and then I can decide. Let's get that. I did like Leah did as well. I just put two different color enamel dots on each side. So I did the lighter one for my rule picker and the darker one for the other. All right, I'm gonna grab a medium size for this, I think. It's the size I probably ignore too much. Yes, this is gonna be just what it needs. Yes, this is 100%. I think I'm gonna go, let's see. We want the darker one of these or the lighter. Actually, now that's on there, I do like the lighter one. So that's good. That was my first thought. I just had second thoughts once we got on there. Okay. And then finish off with a blue. And I know those aren't straight. I'm just getting them laid on there. So I'll straighten them as I go on. And I'm going to confirm. Let's see, the new double-ended, that should be for sale sometime, I would guess, hopefully in March. If you are part of our card making event the end of February, you will actually have it in your hand soon because I think packages are starting to ship now as well. So one final pondering here. I'm debating on, do I want to put these up on the corners or on these sides here? And I'm actually, yep, they're going on there. It keeps that angle, which is kind of fun. I think it was just too straight and harsh on the other. Perfect. All right, let's get these down and then we will be done with this card. Totally out of my normal little range of stuff, but I love how it came out. I was a little unsure what I was getting myself into, but I think this might be one of my faves. One done. Let's spin this around and do the other side. I know I could stop and just finish this later, but I feel like I'm to the point of being committed, so I might as well finish. Okay. Okay, and these will get more sparkly as they dry. The glue is white right now, it dries clear. So once that fully dries, these will be super sparkly and pretty. There you go. I think that was super duper fun. And there we have it. All right, I will switch the camera on so I can let you guys be free to get out of here. And like I said, I'll probably just add that little sentiment on the inside or maybe on the envelope or save it for another card. Who knows? You just got to see a bonus spoiling here today. So no problem at all. Hey, camera switch. And we'll get the winner announced here. Someone was asking about the event. So yeah, our February event is closed right now, but if you ever sign up, we have a lot of people that are gone or unavailable that weekend and they just come back. They're up for replay for 6 months. But yeah, we are going to have a scrapbook event in May. And then I don't remember our holiday event, if it's September, I think it's September. But we're going to have a holiday card making event, which is super fun as well. Well, thank you everyone for joining me today and for hanging in there as I figured out what I was going to do. And a big thank you to Laura Basson, to Leah, and to Shannon for all the different little bits of inspiration that went into creating this card. Like I said, it's something totally out of my normal wheelhouse and not something I would have necessarily created just on my own, but pulling a little bit of inspiration from all of them. I'm super happy with. Just I had fun putting that card together. It's probably one of the most fun cards I've made in a long time. So, and hopefully I gave you some good tricks with that die. If any of you have already ordered or are pondering ordering it, don't be intimidated by how detailed and intricate it is. It really is easy with that little trick. Again, you can also do a metal shim or anything like that, but yeah, super easy. Oh, okay, Leah's working on, give an extra minute here. I might need to type it in. She said Google logged her out and she can't leave a comment to announce the winner. Let's see if she can get back in. Otherwise, I'll have her just tell me who the winner is and I can say it and then we can get the comment on there as well. Jennifer, yes, you can definitely rewind. Stacy, welcome, your first live. I actually saw, I'm sure there were others on there, but since I saw you, I can say a big welcome to Stacy Carpenter. But yes, we do have the rewind feature, and there's a good break in between each of the classes we leave. So if you need to slow it down and pause and just kind of work on catching up, don't be afraid to do that because you still have an hour in between to catch up if you go over. And some people just prefer watching and enjoying the process, and then they watch them later and recreate them at their own leisure. And I see that Leah made it back in and got the winner. So Brenda Simpson, you are today's $15 gift card winner. Congratulations. The info is in that comment, but you just need to email Leah at pinkfreshstudio.com. Her name is Lea. There's no H on the end of it. Right? Worst time for Google to log Leah out. She made it back in. So yeah, email, give her 2 to 3 business days for her to get back to you and enjoy shopping with your gift card. Thank you everyone for joining me today, joining both of us. I'm going to let you go since we're a couple minutes over, but I'll get this posted in the next day or two. And I'll see you guys all again in a couple of weeks. And I'll see you on Thursday in the comments. It's Natalie's week to do a scrapbook live. And even if you're a card maker, I really encourage you to hop over for those. I always get techniques from that or ideas that I can incorporate into my card making. or I get inspired to pull out my photos and do some scrapbooking. So anyway, all right, have a great rest of your day, everyone, and I'll see you soon.